It gives me great joy to come your way today, and I want to appreciate the fact that I am meeting with you. Just give me your maximum attention as we share the truths together. Today I want to share with you what I caption, "You are not dull." And I want you to have this in mind, that you are not dull. And I want to talk to you if you are a student, secondary school, especially senior secondary school, you are in college of education, you are in polytechnic, you are in the university, especially year 1, year 2 students. This message, this information is for you, because I believe that you really need to build a foundation that will give you a good end, so you don't regret at the end of the day. Each time I finish addressing, especially 400 level, 500 level students in higher institution, most of them regret a lot because they miss it in their foundation. So I believe that your year 1 has a lot to be done, and that is actually the reason why students in the higher institution, especially year 1, they do orientation, what they call orientation, in the day of their matriculation. And I have come to really bring to your understanding and to your notice that nobody is dull. And because when people actually say that you are dull, what they are trying to make you believe is that you are not sharp. They just want you to believe that you are not intelligent. And they also want you to believe that you are boring. But I just want you to have this understanding that from the beginning of creation, your origin, your foundation, that you were not meant to be dull. And because God did not create any average human being, but glorious and brilliant being. The first man, Adam, could name all the animals once and retain all the names in his mind without mistaking tiger for leopard. This means that your brain can retain as much as you can store depending on your choice. And that is how God made you. I've come to remind you that you should believe what God has said concerning you, not what anybody has defined you to be. I was once in this situation. That was during my primary school. I didn't take my studies serious, so I was always among the last group of students in the bottom of my class. So very poor result. I did not use my time well, even after school. Instead, I was busy playing with friends, even when my parents and their siblings tried to see how I could be corrected. But I felt I had dull brain because of my position in class, and it was none of their business. Actually, in those days, when you have 100 people in class, you discover that there's what they call first position, second position, even to 100 position. And having such kind of system of operation, unlike today, when you have people, it's based on grade, not lead position. But then in my time, you have someone that come at 20 position, 30 position, 40 position, 50, and so on, depending on the numbers of students in the class. And thank God I realized this mistake by studying together with my sibling on my admission into secondary school, JSS1, or Junior Secondary School 1, when my friends that knew me in primary school heard about my sudden change in my performance. They were amazed because I moved from the bottom of my class to the top of my class from that moment and throughout my higher institution of learning. And this was me who used to think I had dull brain. Little did I know that I neglected my responsibilities as a student. I would have continued like that throughout my university with the belief that I was dull if I did not realize the wrong notion of being a student. And what does that mean? It means that there are some students who may not even realize this mindset, and so they continue like that. Along the way, they could not complete their secondary school. In other words, you do not have dull brain until you accept to do. I'm talking to you right now. Maybe in your year one you did not do well, and the head of your department, HOD, or the management of your department are trying to see how they can drop you. Maybe you are tired. You feel that you can't continue anymore because of your results. Maybe you are listening to me right now. You're in secondary school and you feel that you are not doing well, all that. And I just want you to have this in mind, that success is not all about people's wish, but your mindset never to accept defeat, even in the midst of challenges. The truth is that if everyone wishes you success, while you still see yourself as a failed student, there's possibility of being defeated because of self-limiting mindset. It doesn't matter your grade right now. It doesn't matter your GPA right now. I just want you to have this in mind, that it is possible to move forward. It is possible to succeed. It is possible to move on. And it all starts from you. You just have to decide that you can't fail again. You just have to believe that you can succeed. You just have to believe that you can stand out. You just have to believe that things can change. But things don't change themselves, because things actually change based on your what? Your desire. And I don't know what you wish yourself. I don't know your plan, but you really need to work out from that level you are. You really need to do something about it. And I've actually spoken to a lot of students, especially higher institutions, and the results are coming out, positive results. And I just want you to believe that it is possible, and because if you can actually put down some things that can make you to be strategic in your doing, things will definitely change. And I just want you to believe that if you can put down some strategies, I call them principles, that will help you to stand out in your courses or subjects. And one of those principles is preparing your timetable, reading timetable. Prepare a good reading timetable that works. You really need to prepare a timetable that works, because if you don't have a reading timetable as a student, it means you are not strategic, because you can't just choose any course or subjects. If you're in secondary school, just like that, you don't have structure. You should put down structure, that, this is what I'm having today, or these are the courses or subjects I'm reading today. You should be written somewhere. Have a something like a chart. Write down your timetable Monday to Saturday. And even if you are working, do you know that by the time you put them into place, by the time you have specific time for your studies, things become easy, because even if you have so many activities, because in high institution there are a lot of distraction. If you are not careful, you discover that you will end up not even doing the basic thing that you are supposed to be the priority, and because you may be carried away with activities, friends, and all that social activities on campus. But one of the ways to do that, which I've mentioned, is you being able to prepare a reading timetable that works. And if you have 2 courses, some of you do 7 or 8 courses. Maybe if you're in year 1, you have what they call GST or GNS, that you have to do. That one is compulsory for every year 1, sometimes year 2 students. But then, you just have to be sure that you have a good reading time. If you are having 2 or 3 courses a day as your lecture, in your lecture timetable, then put them as your reading courses. Make sure that they are written down. I mean, make sure that you have it. If it's on Monday, you have 2 courses on Monday. Put those 2 courses as your Monday reading courses. You have on Tuesday as 3 courses. Put down those 3 courses as your Tuesday, meaning that you are seeing it this Monday. You're also seeing it next week, Monday. And do you know that by the time you apply this system, you discover that you keep reading something that you are taught each day, and it's easier to understand and remember when you study something that you are taught that very day. And so by the time you are reading 2 courses a day, sometimes 3 a day, before the end of the week, before Saturday, you must have read your courses twice a week. And if I go with the theory of mastery that has been aligned with the you being able to read something 10 times with concentration and you know it, it's just too perfect, because by the time you are reading your what you have been taught twice a week, you discover that in a month you have read it 4 times, and meaning that because a semester most of the time the semester is 3 months, and in 3 months you must have read what you have been taught 8 times, and here come 2 weeks after lectures where you need to prepare for your exam. You have 2 weeks remaining, and in those 2 weeks you have the first week for you to meet up and to cover up what you have not been able to read. It's not, those 2 weeks are not actually the week for you to start doing all-night reading, to read what you have been learning for 3 months. In 2 weeks, then the question I'll ask you, where is the place of revision? If all you do is just read all through the night, just in 2 weeks, my dear, it's not too okay. It's very dangerous. That is why most of the time you see students, they fall sick during the exam time. That is not actually a good way of doing things. It's not actually the best way to do things, because by the time you start reading on time, it becomes easier and flexible. It becomes so easy for you to be able to have time to read, have time to meditate, have time to recall, have time to compare with what you are learning in your environment. And most of the time, if you don't actually have a structure, it is not really going to help you out. When you don't really have a structure as a student, it means you just pick what comes to your mind and read. It's not really good. But then I want to say that it's not just enough to prepare a reading timetable. You need to follow up accordingly. Follow it up. By the time you follow up your timetable, I tell you, it will help you to really do a lot of work. You'll be focused when you follow, because too many students prepare good timetable, but not all are faithful to follow it up. Some students get distracted after some time, and so they may not be able to continue. This will affect your performance. When you discover the subject or courses that are easy for you to understand, then you put more effort to the one you are finding difficult to understand. Sometimes you just need to read, not because you are having exams. Before leaving for holidays, check your curriculum. Then try and buy or download some required text you would need for the next semester or term. Get good and relevant materials from students ahead of you. And for those in higher institutions, I will advise you to collect the materials for the 2 semesters. Study the tests for the current semester on time and prepare your personal notes before resumption. You may not be able to finish it up to 100%, but at least 50 to 60 preparation would be an added advantage to you. This is one of the secrets of academic excellence in school. before resumption, you must have covered so much, even though you have other engagements during the holidays. If you want to be ahead of others, you must see and walk ahead of others. Do not allow anybody to deceive you. There is no genius that does not study his books. Many students think that I have dull brain, I'm not a genius, so I think success is meant for those who are genius. That is not true. Learn as though you would never be able to master it. Like Confucius said, Confucius was the first teacher in China. He began his teaching at the age of 30 and taught more than 3,000 students in his life, and 77 of whom fall within outstanding considerations. They became scholars of extraordinary abilities. Education is the passport of the future for tomorrow. Please don't joke with it. Don't joke with your academics. Don't say that you don't need a certificate. Even if you don't need a certificate, but you need the knowledge. Don't even maneuver. Don't even try to cut corners. You need grade. By all means, no, it's not all about grade. Grade is not the first thing. The first thing is knowledge. And when you get knowledge, it's easier for you to pass your exam. That is why you see that in exam hall, you are not expected to carry books or papers. Reason because it's expected that they are not part of you, what you have been learning since the beginning of your semester or term. And so now you have 2 weeks remaining, like I said earlier. Now, those 2 weeks that you are given to prepare for your exam, the first week are meant for you to cover up. And if you have been reading something twice a week when you have lectures, you can easily read them 3 times, meaning that you have even made a margin of 10 times. That means you are reading the topic for like 11 times. That is very excellent. And the remaining 1 week is for revision. A lot of students don't even know what it means to revise their books. You don't revise when you're supposed to be reading, and you don't also read when you're supposed to be revising. There's a place for you to study, read those topics very well, and there's also a time for you to do revision. The time for revision is not a time for you to be reading new things. That is why you see many students, or some students, a lot of students as well, they go to the hall and they forget what they've learned. Some of them would say, I actually read it, but I can't remember it, because you didn't give yourself time to really meditate on what you have studied. Early to bed, early to wake makes one header is an adage. I just want you to have this understanding that you need to really have to apply principle by being strategic. And the next thing I want to also talk concerning you being able to be strategic is for you to be able to avoid procrastination. Because each time you suspend something that you're supposed to do today, each time you don't read what you're supposed to read in that very timetable that you have formed, you've actually moved it to tomorrow. And that of tomorrow, I've actually moved it to the day after tomorrow. So the best thing to do is to actually be determined and be focused, and make sure that you don't push out anything for tomorrow, because even tomorrow does not exist. It's an abstract word. Nobody has lived in tomorrow, because tomorrow is actually a world that you can never live in. We only sleep to wake up and see another day called today. And so today that you have, use it very well as a student, and also have self-control. You really need to understand yourself very well, because we are all different. If you cannot read at night, try as much as possible to make good time of your day. If you can also read in the day and you can read at night, also make use of them. Very, very important. And if you don't really do all these things, it's going to affect you, because you really need to have self-control. When you come back from class, you need to rest. And don't follow people. This person wants to go to class. Maybe he's your roommate. You want to go with him or her to class to read, and She also what? Program herself on how to go about things. You too also should program yourself. Do not go to class in the name of reading with empty stomach, especially at night. Don't overfeed when you know you are going to work hard. Take light food and sleep when you feel sleepy, but try to control your sleeping habits, because you can actually really control your sleeping habits. You can set an alarm to wake you up when necessary. I also want you to understand that another strategy you need to apply is for you to be in class. Take notes. Take notes. Note taking is very important. Some students find it difficult to write very well during dictation. Some students even get distracted when they are in class. Some of them, they are just too busy pressing, phone chatting with, on WhatsApp, chatting on Facebook. Come on, that is not the time for that. There's time for everything. If you can make use of your time, I tell you, you will definitely succeed as a student. You may not be the best, but you can still succeed as a student. I actually want you to have understanding that you need to be attentive. You need to pay attention. There's nothing wrong with social media. There's nothing wrong using WhatsApp, but use it at the right time. Use it when it's necessary. And I also want you to know that the use of acronym is another strategy that you really need to apply as a student. When we are in secondary school in those days, these characteristics of living things, and we use Mr. Niger D, the first one, Mr. MR. We have movement, respiration. We have Niger nutrition, irritability, growth, and you have excretion, reproduction, and death. Then, with the acronym Mr. Niger D, you don't need to struggle. Just bring the key, Mr. Niger D, and you unlock it. You can even form as many acronyms as you can, just like I also form that when you consider electromagnetic waves, for example, the order of their highest frequency and the lowest wavelength is equally written with the use of acronym, which I form myself. G is R, and the G is gamma rays, and X is X-ray, U is ultraviolet, V is visible light, I is infrared, M is microwaves, R is radio waves. This G0R is the simple key to unlock it. The use of acronym helps to reduce the stress and time of thinking too much on a particular thing while trying to remember. You can generate thousands of acronyms to simplify your assimilation. It helps a lot. Just try it by forming a word or phrase to match, or you would have spent so much time by pondering on which one should come first before another. And you are a student, you are in science, and you are engineering, medical. I want you to understand that practical class is a must, because education full of theory is the basis of retardation of national development, said Eric Wiracle. So if you are in medical, try as much as possible to go for your medical classes, practical classes. If you are in science, engineering, try as much as possible to attend workshop, go to the lab, learn things that you have been reading in the theory. And I believe that by the time you are able to put down all these principles and practice them, I tell you, sky is not your limit. You will see yourself excelling. It's not magic. You just have to understand that things work by principle. Things work by principles, and you just need to be focused as a student. And when you are able to apply all this, you discover that reading becomes easy, because you know what to read on Monday, you know what to read on Tuesday, you know what to read on Wednesday, you know what to read on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And you also have time to rest, because you are being strategic. Everything is placed based on time, and when you are free, when you don't have lectures, although you may have fellowship and other engagement, but it will not affect you. Try as much as possible to read. In fact, when I meet students who have had so much problems in school, when I finish a seminar with them in institution and the secondary level. It pains me. But I think this is the reason why I'm out to help you. I'm out for you. This is one of the reasons why God brought me to you, to help you, that you can succeed, that you are not dull. Nobody should define you. Nobody should make you feel that you are dull. You are not dull. If I'm the one telling you, you are not dull. I just want you to know that you can what? You can start again. You can start afresh. Don't sleep at your failure. Don't sleep with your failure. Wake up, get up, and start afresh. Even if you are in 200 level right now, you can be strategic with what I've just given to you. Form a timetable. If you're in secondary school, parents, please help your children. Help them. And another challenge that students have is in the area of them being forced to do a course that they were not passionate to study. Oh, my son, I want my son to study medicine. No, that is not the best way to help a child. You can guide your child to choose wisely, but don't choose for him. Don't choose for her. Don't say, I want my son to study law, therefore he must study law. No, that is not how it is. Help your child wisely to choose the courses you know that it has passion for, and that is one of the ways that will help your child to be happy. Because there are some students who are on campus right now, they are not happy because they were forced to study what they are doing currently, and they wish if they have they have money, they would do that which they know that they like to do or like doing. I want to encourage you, parents, please don't mislead your child. Don't deceive them. Don't deceive them, because the most sensitive area in the life of every student before furthering into tertiary institution is to choose your preferred school and course of study. That is why you see some students, when they graduate, they feel like they didn't even go to school. They just want to go back. But it's not everybody that have such, everybody that has such a privilege to really go back to school and start afresh to study, which is the course which you truly believe that it was the one you actually want for. But why not go straight to the one that you know you are passionate about, instead of going up and down? I believe that this will help you. And now you are done with the first week, the second week, you are done with revision, and what next is examination. And in my next teaching, I'll be talking about how to go about revision. And as God help us, we'll still talk about how to go about your tests and examination. We'll still talk about mentorship. We'll still talk about achievers materials and many more. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I remain your academic counselor, academic advisor, Promise Odigwe. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Bye.